Welcome to Evilive, your live media commentary show that answers the question, who the fuck is Jerry?
Yeah.
Like, for real. Subscribe to the channel, because today we are reviewing What We Do in the Shadows, Season 6, Episode 1, The Return of Jerry. I believe it's pronounced. J's or Y's, right?
Sounds about right.
Yeah. What are your initial thoughts? It's come back for a new season. This is the first of 3 episodes that's dropped.
I dug it. I mean, I was a little curious, I guess, of how they were going to continue the show. Because, of course, from the beginning, it seems like, oh, this is Guillermo's journey, and we're going to see him turn into a vampire at some point, and then that's the end of the story. So to have it start the way that it started, where it's like, oh, yeah, and we have a roommate, a 5th guy. It was an interesting way to start it.
Yeah, I didn't really know where they were going to go, because I did, like you, like I felt like the story was finished. Like they wrapped it up last season, and so this has to just be like a celebration. Like, let's just have some fun and do some weird shit. And I'm always here for that. Like, that sounds great to me, and I love this goddamn series. I always forget how much I enjoy it until I'm watching it sober, and then I remember how good the writing and the acting actually is. Because when I'm not, I'm just sort of giggling and laughing and just, like not even really thinking about like the technical side of it. But these are genuinely talented humans doing this. And it's silly. And they're adults. And they're having fun. Like, what the fuck? What kind of job? I can't do that. I don't get to have fun at work.
Yeah,
I have to be miserable. So, fuck. I love this show. It just brings joy to my life. Those are my initial thoughts. This is directed by Kyle Newacek, written by Paul Sims, and it was the first 3 episodes all dropped October 21, this past whatever day that is. And ultimately, we're picking up because we don't know what the hell happened to Guillermo. We don't know what the hell the dynamic in the house is going to be anymore. And they're all just sitting around, literally doing fucking nothing, just reading.
Yeah.
And, I mean, that's not nothing. It's pretty fun, but like they're just not doing anything. They're just sort of enjoying each other's company.
Yeah, it's fun to do, not fun to watch.
Yeah, and then they start just sort of reminiscing, and they're like, who would really get that or who would remember that? Jerry. Yeah, Jerry. Whatever happened to Jerry? And they remember, oh yeah, we had a fucking roommate like 50
oh shit,
years
we were
ago.
supposed to wake him up.
And so they all race down to the fucking basement. We get the first tease into Laszlo's arc of this series, or maybe Laszlo Collins' arc, about being Dr. Frankenstein, who he refuses
Wait,
to
who is
acknowledge.
that? Never heard of him.
From the book. Don't know what you're talking about.
God, that shit was so fucking funny.
So stupid. But it's great. Like, I love that they're bringing that aspect into this. And who better than fucking... oh, damn it. What's his name? It's not Laszlo. I'm a liar. Yeah, it is Laszlo.
Yeah?
I'm looking for the actor's name, and I can't find it in
Matt
my
Berry.
notes. Matt Berry. Okay. I don't know if he is just leaning in to the thing or if he's becoming the character. I feel like he is like...
He
like
is
melding.
the character.
Really? He's just like that's him.
That's straight up him. Like, it's... I was watching an interview recently where he was talking about why he enunciates things the way he does. So, minus the type stuff, like that's just how he talks.
So good.
But he was discussing the show, and they're like, is that written or is that just something you do? And he's like, well, as an actor, you say it so many times that it gets boring, and I want it to be fresh. So, anytime that he's like, like. That's just him fucking with it to keep it entertaining to himself.
Oh, that's great.
And it's like, that makes it just so much better.
It's so good.
Because it's like, no one's wanting that. Nobody's asking for that. He's just doing it because he's like, yeah, I don't want to get bored.
And everyone else is just rolling with it.
Yeah.
Like, it seems like there has to be so much footage on the cutting room floor of just people breaking character laughing.
Oh, it has to be.
It was it's just so much fun. And then, like, just random stuff. He's like, oh boy. And then, like, so that's a good boy. Like, he just always makes these weird, strange, crazy fucking references that make no sense to anything, but they just work in the moment. He's like, all right, that is 100% the character. So, yeah, maybe that is just him. He's just playing himself. He's like fucking... Harvey Keitel or fucking any
Michael
of those.
Caine.
Michael Caine. They're just always themselves.
Mhm.
Nothing else. Any case, they go down. We find that, Laszlo was once working on bringing inanimate objects to life. And then they find the actual coffin with their fucking Jerry roommate. And I'm not a fan of Jerry, personally.
I don't think we're supposed to be.
Yeah.
Definitely don't think we're supposed to be.
Yeah, but I really don't like him. I like him like I like Christiane. I respect his bakes, but he can fuck off.
Yeah.
That's how I think of Jerry. I'm like, I respect your desire to rule the world and all, but you can fuck right off.
Yeah, no, he definitely reminds me of that one friend that everybody has in their group that it's like you don't see them very often, and then when you do, it reminds you why you don't see them often.
Why do I feel like you're talking about me? Right.
Oh, I'm talking about myself. I understand I'm that person.
Really feeling like you're talking about me right now.
No.
Yeah, no, like for real, like that is exactly who the dude is, and I love that it's the entire overarching theme of this is, look, he worked at one time. He was a friend that you all resonated with once, but it's just you're in different places now, and it really reminded me of a friend that I recently reconnected with. And yeah, like we were in wildly different places. And I was just like, I don't know if we're like really friends. Like, are we friends because we enjoy each other's company, or are we friends because we just used to be? Because those are two wildly different things.
Oh yeah.
And
it's a rough realization when that happens.
Yeah. I mean, what I'm saying is I don't want to come over later.
No, I understand. I understand.
I'm just kidding.
And it's okay. We won't say what it is,
reciprocal.
but it definitely rhymes with shmana. I get it.
Subtle. No one will understand that.
No.
So, I love when he comes out. He's like, whoa, New Year. Yeah. He's like supposed to be woken up in like 1996 New Year's.
Yeah, he was only going to sleep for 20 years.
50 years later, they're acting like he has never been awake ever. Like fucking Laszlo's flying him around town talking about these electric horses with rubber shoes. He's like, I know what cars are.
That was the best part is, it's like, dude, I haven't been asleep that fucking long.
Oh, dude. And when Colin's like just doing his best to like reconnect with this dude and he doesn't even know his fucking name, just shoving like earphones around his head. And he's like listening to that Billy Joel song, I think it was. He's like, I went to sleep after this. Like, what the fuck?
He's like, yeah, but there's a couple years into the 80s.
And then now I'm questioning, what the fuck is that lyric? Rock and roll cola wars?
I don't know. I was going to look it up and then I got high. And I forgot about it until you just said something.
There's an actual song. Is it just Pepsi versus Coke? Those commercial wars that it's talking about? Like, I don't understand what the fuck. And it doesn't need to make any sense. It just has to, work in a lyric.
It is a term that describes the intense marketing battle between Coca-Cola and Pepsi Company in the 80s.
That makes sense.
It's simple as that, I guess.
Cola war. We didn't start the fight. Okay. Yeah, no, that works. I loved at the end, like in the credits.
Oh my God!
Give me all the
so
paperwork you have on the Rock and Roller Cola War.
And she busts out this scroll, and it's like that's just amazing, dude. I gotta say, like, as much as I don't like Jerry, I am really looking forward to the dynamic between him and the guide.
Yeah,
that shit was just so fucking funny.
Great. I'll probably F him for fun, but really it's just because I'm bored. That's the problem of being the guide. And he's like, Lieutenant, come over here. And she's like, you can just call me the guide. No, I believe in strict. You will be responding to Lieutenant. She's like, ooh, I like him.
Yeah, that's just so
forceful. Like, they're not going to accomplish fuck all.
No,
but they don't need to. We just need to see that dynamic a little bit. Because anytime I get to see the guide just slide lines out like a gem that I have held on to for many a year. I'll jerk you off. You'll finger my butthole. Like, you throw in lines like that, I'm fucking like, go on.
Yeah. Yes.
I love
some highbrow, sophisticated shit.
This is actually what America was founded on. I don't know if people understand this. The reason why George Washington had wooden teeth was because of diseases he caught by dipping the finger in the butthole and then licking it clean.
Can confirm.
That's true.
Yeah, no, that's history.
It's freedom is what it is.
Hell yeah.
It's freedom. That's why we have Hep B shots. Is B the one? The poo one? One of the Hep shots is a poo one. That's the reason why we have them. Thank you, George Washington. General.
Goddamn American
all the
hero.
poop eaters out there. So gross. So fucking gross. Wooden teeth. Of all things. What are we talking about? Jerry.
Yes.
Oh, so then of course, Jerry poses the question, the initial and then the follow-up of why the fuck are these humans documenting this and who are they showing it to? And they're just like,
yeah, we don't know.
I don't know. We never asked. So they have to figure out why, and the only person they can figure out who would know is Guillermo. And I love Nadia in this episode because she's so goddamn bossy, and everyone respects her. And we are introduced to this 5-year period of time when her and Laszlo weren't talking at all because he refused to let her work.
Yeah, that's so fucking funny.
To study a human job, or I can't remember the phrasing of it exactly, but it was just hilarious. And I love those two actors in their characters and their dynamic back and forth. It's so fucking brilliant.
Oh, yeah.
I think I'm sort of getting to a point where I'm feeling like I'm already missing them. I know this is the final season.
Mm-hmm.
I'm seeing how brilliant, and I'm finally like fully recognizing the brilliance of everything. I've always enjoyed it. I always loved it, but I'm like recognizing the brilliance of what the actors actually bring into the table in the stark contrast to everything else we've experienced this year and the previous year. Like they're really fucking firing on all goddamn cylinders. And I don't know that I'm ever going to see them again. Anything cool. Like, fuck.
Yeah, it is quite disappointing because, I mean, they're all British actors. So it's usually shit that stays over there. Yeah. It's rough. And it's one of those things too. It's like, you think sometimes, or at least I do, it's like, am I just holding on to this and blowing this up bigger than it actually is?
Right.
But I started rewatching the series from the beginning, and it's like, nope, it is just fucking brilliant from open to close. And this is like a once in a generation type of television show.
Yeah. I mean, I think the closest that could even be considered, and it wasn't even comedy at all, but it still had a huge fan base in the time, was when I was a kid, it was Dark Shadows.
Mm-hmm.
That was a big deal. But, okay, now I'm just sort of talking out my ass, because before Dark Shadows was the Munsters and the Addams Family. And, we had these sort of dark comedies that were out there. But, yeah, since I was a kid, this is the first thing since then that I've seen or been aware of or reflected back on and gone like, this is genuinely fucking gold. And it speaks to a sensibility that is traditionally ignored wholeheartedly of, people who really like that sort of darker, sort of costumed, performative acting.
Yeah.
Everything nowadays is like an NCIS or something ripoff of that, or like a Yellowstone ripoff, or, just like going hard fantasy or something. But this is, it's exactly what it intends to be. It speaks exactly to the audience that it's trying to speak to, and it is celebrated by everyone that has ever seen it. It's like, are we going to have to wait decades to get another thing like this again? Like, fuck.
Oh, easily. Well, and like all that aside, like this is its own unique beast too, because it's like, I mean, I grew up, of course, with the Munsters and the Addams Family and absolutely adore that stuff. But this shit is so fucking raunchy. Like, this is the adult version of that. And I don't think we're going to get that again. At least not anywhere, anytime soon.
I don't want that to be true, but I fear that it is.
Yeah.
In any case, they go to Guillermo's house, and he's living in the garden. I don't know. Is it a greenhouse? I don't know.
It's Laszlo's masturbation shed.
Could be called a jack shed.
Yes.
Jack Shack is what he said.
Jack Shack. Fuck yeah.
I don't have a Jack Shack currently. I'm Jack Shackless.
I need one. I need a masturbatorium and an angry dome.
I don't
my
want
life will
to
be complete.
ruin like a future episode, but when they're like, "Oh, it's a jack off hand," and he's like, "That's not my jack off hand. I've already created it," and like pans over to the raccoon.
So fucking great.
It's just like nowhere else will do that. That does not exist in anyone else's universe. No one will ever put that on camera, and they did, and it's fucking hilarious.
It's fantastic.
God damn, fucking. And I don't even know if that raccoon's real. It could be like, I know it's not real, but like it could be a reanimated raccoon, and he's just trying to get to the human level.
The end, like throughout the credits, was it Nandor that walked by? But it was somebody. Oh no, it was Jerry. I think walked by and was like, good job, so and so. Like was talking to the fucking raccoon.
I think that was Nandor actually when he was walking by. Yeah. Oh man, I love it so much. This show is the best. So really Guillermo's been like working at Panera Bread, ironically, and like living in this Jack Shack. And there's this whole bit about where do you go pee pee and poo poo.
Oh my god, that was so fucking funny.
I save it up.
Oh, I save it till I go to work.
You save up your pee pee?
What is this bucket?
Don't take the bucket. Why don't you want me to take the bucket? It has a toilet paper roll on the handle, for fuck's sake.
Yeah. It's like you were using it, dude. And it's cool. Get it. Yeah, that was so damn funny.
Every other teenager is using, like, at least my generation of teenager was using like the Mountain Dew big old fucking like half liters or whatever, a liter of Mountain Dew bottles, like keeping it all in their fucking room while they're gaming and shit. Fucking nerds. But because I'm definitely not a nerd.
No.
I have
not that level.
I have the sensibility to get a long catheter. Thank you very much.
That's just practical.
Dribble it out throughout the house. People trip over it. I'm like, stop it!
Do that again.
Yeah.
I don't like that one.
Like, wait a second. Let me pinch the bass. Go again.
Just
yank on it, Shauna. Yank. Yeah. I just don't even know what we're talking about anymore. Yeah, the catheter, the Jack Shack, the pee bucket. Yes. That's what we're talking about. Just got to reverse engineer. It's so fucking good. Like, what the fuck are we doing? So Guillermo is doing his best to move on without actually being able to cut the cord. And the family, the household, I should say, is trying their best to move on, but they clearly can't because they're incapable of running their own lives.
Yeah.
And this whole new Jerry dynamic who wants to take over the world, but the housemates can't really be bothered because he stirs up all these other emotions and memories that force them into all these other different fucking directions. And it's just brilliant. And so, obviously Guillermo's like, look, it just doesn't work anymore. You got to break it to him. I'm like, all right, cool. So they're all planning to fucking murder his ass.
They're all going to kill him because that's how you get rid of roommates.
I mean, it's probably the easiest way, but it's probably not the best way.
No, there's definitely better ways.
And I loved Colin. Oh my gosh, Colin.
Yeah, I really want to stop this, but I'm feeding real well.
He's just like, it's just going to my hips. And he's just filling out so much so he's got his little scooter. Like, I'm sure it has like a name. I don't know what the names are.
That's so funny. It was Rascal.
Rascal, that's it. He's fucking like, excuse me, I'm trying to turn around here in the fucking basement. He's like, I've got this holy shit, crossbow. Thank you. Yeah. I'm like the fucking fantasy nerd, and I can't think of the word crossbow. It's just hilarious. He's like shoots himself in the foot. He's like, oh, you had a crossbow there. Oh, right in my fucking orthopedic shoes.
It was so good. After he smashes into the fucking casket.
So good. It's so fucking funny. And I think this was the best possible way to break back into the series. And for them to say like, no, we have more things to sell, more silly ideas to share, more stories to explore. It doesn't have to be this long drawn out narrative, even though it still is, connected to that singular narrative, because Guillermo cannot be apart from them. He's lived his entire life, his adult grown up life with them. He's always wanted to be one of them. He becomes one of them, realizes it's not really for him. So like he's still inextricably linked with them. And so it's this weird, codependent, sick fucking relationship they all have. But we love to watch it. So keep it going.
Absolutely.
I hope they do like a web series or just something. Like just somehow keep it going in some way.
Like at the very least, having what's his name, Kayvan, just do random Skype videos.
Yeah.
Like, it's so fucking funny to see that guy. Like, he gets so into character just for the dumbest shit. Like, he did a Skype thing for, I think it was like Comic-Con or something.
Oh, really?
And got into costume for it. Like, no one else was in costume. And he was in character the entire fucking time when nobody else was.
He's great, dude.
Yeah.
I love his voice. Ugh,
Mhm.
so good. That was kind of the episode though. It was it just wet your whistle. You know?
Yeah. We got the strife that we're gonna have throughout, allegedly throughout the season, where Nandor is back to feeling inadequate. He's no longer the relentless. Nadia and Laszlo are fighting again over her not being able to work. And Colin Robinson is realizing that he doesn't have a friend that he thought was his very close friend. So we're going to have that hopefully throughout the series. And then, of course, the introduction, of Jerry meeting the guide.
Yeah.
So it was a good way to start.
Definitely. Do you think we're going to see Jerry again?
I really hope so. I really want to see the dynamic between him and the guide.
Yeah, that was great in the little bit that we got. It'd be interesting to see if they do sort of try to progress the whole taking over of the world, if he also falls to just sort of like the blasé reality of life in this sort of 21st century, where like, okay, we could put all that effort to that, or we could just like eat some whipped cream on something,
right?
Put it on your coffee, put on some blood, like just enjoy yourself. You don't have to always be working anymore, We live in a new era. Just become an influencer. Influence other people to take over the world.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be great if we got like this. This would be very sort of Mike Myers, the comedian, to do. But if like we get this shot of him like with his panel of TVs talking to dictators all around the world about how they could take over the world, or if he like gets on the phone with some, like if it's like Trump or someone and he's just like talking to them like they're clearly a vampire, trying to take over the world and doing a poor job. He's like judging the way he phrases things, or like you could really like nail into popular culture, like real zeitgeist type shit, and have fun with it with him as a character specifically because he's been absent for 50 years.
Yeah.
God, I don't know if they will, but I think that would be really
It'd
brilliant.
be a great avenue to explore, definitely.
Yeah. And just the show in general. I mean, we've been so isolated to our street and most of neighbor street
Yeah.
as ruling the world. Like, let's broaden that out a little bit. Do you think we're going to get to see Nick Kroll again in this season?
I really hope so. I don't like him at all, except in this show.
Yeah.
That's so
I like getting a New York City vibe, instead of just the Manhattan vibe or Long Island vibe, or just give us a little something else.
Definitely.
All right. Well, I don't really have anything else. Do you?
No, man, I think we got that covered.
What was your favorite part? Let's do favorite part, least favorite part. What's your favorite part?
God, favorite part? I mean, it'd probably have to be the very end where Guillermo saves Jerry from all the failed assassination attempts.
Yeah, that was great.
Specifically when Colin Robinson smashes his Jazzy into the casket.
Yeah, I think my favorite had to be the piss bucket. I thought that whole sequence was fucking hilarious and so gross and shameful. And so he was trying to hide it because it's gross and shameful, but like it's clear, it's obvious. And Nadia was just loving every second of it.
Oh yeah,
that was great. Did you have a least favorite part?
No.
It ended. That was my least favorite.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of the ongoing narrative with the show.
Yeah.
It's that it ends at some point.
Yeah. Well, thank you all so much for tuning in. Let us know what you thought of this premiere episode of What We Do in the Shadows. And how do you think they actually got hooked up with this documentary crew? Are we going to find that out?
I really hope not.
I mean,
I kind of want it to just never be brought up except for occasionally, and then it just ends without any reason.
Yeah. It's like an endless supply, because we had that one season where they went into the weird vampire family house and they were all getting murdered and stuff. But then, like, you just don't ever talk about it again. They just have new cameramen. So, like, just replenish them. All right. We'll buy into it. There's all sorts of stuff. And with the other episodes that are out already, it just gets crazier and cooler anyway.
Yeah.
So
Definitely.
thank you all so much for tuning in. As always, like it or not, Evil spelled backwards is live. Enjoy this while we have it because it is a goddamn godsend.
Absolutely.
For sure. All right. So until next time, be evil. Suck some blood.
Fuck yeah.
Suck some blood out of it.
Out of a pee-pee bucket.
Drink your blood from Guillermo's pee bucket. You get a raccoon.
Yeah, man.